2023 Auburn University Marching Band. For your halftime entertainment, we celebrate the 43-year reign of the Speed Metal Kings, Metallica. With 9 Grammy Awards and 14 nominations, 38 concert tours worldwide, and 11 studio albums that span 4 decades, the Titans of Thrash remain the standard by which all other metal is measured. We begin with a 1984 classic from their second album, For Whom the Bell Tolls, followed by the 1992 tour anthem, Wherever I May Roam. And then, let's turn down the house and light up the stage for the Auburn University Marching Band and their show, Metallica.
It's Wednesday night once again, and yes, that means it's time for Auburn Family Night. This is our show each and every week here at E2C Network, where you, the Auburn family, take center stage. We're going to get into your comments, your topics, your questions, and your calls. All that's coming up here right now. War Eagle, everybody, welcome back to another edition of E2C Network Live, where we get together, we sit down, and we talk about the Auburn experience, which is all about a few things to us: Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family stuff. Say the last part with me. If it's orange and blue, it is what we do. So thank you so much for joining us and what we're going to be doing this evening on Auburn Family Night. This is my favorite night each and every week in all of the content that we produce for you on E2C Network throughout the entirety of our usual football week, at least, and the whole year. Auburn Family Night, brought to you by our friends at Barner Supply. BarnerSupply.com is where you need to check them out. They get some great gear like I'm wearing on my head. Their logo down there in that corner. I'm getting better at it. Some other stuff that we'll talk about throughout the show tonight. They are bringing you the call-in link this evening that you can utilize exclusively on, right now exclusively at least, on Auburn Family Night. So take advantage of that. Jump on into the chat here. Jump on into the call-in line as well. Go ahead and get in line for that if you'd like to utilize that, because you, the Auburn family, get to take center stage this particular evening. We'd love to remind you to make sure you jump on in here and let us know that you're watching live. Spend some time talking about anything that you want to. Go ahead and hit the like button. All those things will help us get off to a good show start this evening. Obviously, if you look at the title here, this is where we're kind of starting our conversation this evening, and I'd imagine where we would spend the majority of our talking points. SEC schedule beginning, Auburn versus Oklahoma. We will be doing our preview and prediction show tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern time, so that you can participate in that. Doesn't mean that we can't have some conversations as my mic decides that it wants to have some issues about that tonight, but we will certainly get into the majority of the nitty-gritty of that tomorrow on that particular show. But otherwise, we can get into anything that y'all want to discuss. You take the center stage here, so jump on into the chat or the call-in link, however you'd like to. Let me start off by saying hello to everybody who chose to check in. You guys did an outstanding job, as the mic continues to drop down for some reason, of checking in with us here early and letting us know that you are here. So many fine people we get to know on the regular, some newer faces, all the good things. So we are ready to roll, it looks like, this evening. Let's see if we can get the mic stand to work with us this evening. It's deciding that it needs a little bit of finagling. I think we got it figured out. All right. So obviously Auburn versus Oklahoma, start of SEC schedule is fresh on our minds. There's been some other schedule news in baseball, fall baseball. There's been some spring baseball news since we last got together. Obviously, there's still a lot going on in the world and things that will involve Auburn. Unfortunately, in that, I guess I need to keep the microphone decided that it wants to be down here this evening. So I'm going to need to adjust that and make sure that we are good to go from this point forward, because it is not wanting to stay up into the location that I had it at. Obviously, we can talk about those things if we need to do that. But anything within the Auburn space is usually fair game here. So don't be shy. Jump on in here and let's get it going here. Unbeaten Lake gets us started with our first comment this evening. Do you think this is a rivalry game, or you think this is a rivalry game with how much fighting there is on Twitter and other places as well? You know, I've noticed this a lot. There's a lot of over posturing and it's a very common phrase that I use these days because it's true. There's a lot of over posturing that happens amongst fans these days. And whether we're talking, I've used it in reference to some Auburn fans, I've used it in reference to other fan bases. And that's what's been going on for a long time here with Oklahoma. I mean, let's get this straight here. You know, if Auburn does win this game, Jackson Arnold has a great game, this is a sign of that they may have gotten it wrong. And that's a really, really big deal if that happens. And they will probably turn on him, on the head coach a little bit, even with Mateer there. So there's a lot of that kind of building up this animosity. And there's also just a lot of excitement. It's the first time Auburn's coming to Norman, just like there was excitement for the first time Auburn and Oklahoma played in Auburn. It is just a lot going in and building to the dynamics of a very heated week of discussions on social media and things like that. Let's see. Neil points out the truth that we don't want to reconcile with. 3-0 all-time versus Auburn. Auburn needs to beat Oklahoma. Yeah, obviously we want to beat them, and we need to beat them for the benefit of our season, but certainly that doesn't mean that it's and I know that's not what Neil's implying here, but I'm going to take what he's saying and apply it to others who haven't said that. The season isn't hinging upon this particular game. This is only the 4th game of the season. We've got a lot of season left to play, and you would like to get one on the board in terms of the record for Auburn, but they probably couldn't have chosen a more difficult year, maybe a couple of times, more difficult year to get that number 1 on the board. Sam says, is A&M or Oklahoma more of our rivals? Neither. Neither is really a true rivalry, but if you were going to put someone into that category of those two, it would be A&M because we've been playing with them for the last few years. I haven't seen Hunter check in with us tonight, but he's very much in the camp of that. He thinks that A&M should be considered more of a rival than some of our more traditional people that we fall into that category just because of some recency bias that is there. And I don't necessarily holistically disagree with that line of thinking, but neither one of the two are a rival in my opinion, other than an SEC rival. The rivalry extends that conference foe. To me, you could probably have a discussion about A&M and some of the fun games that we've had with them, though. Neil says there's no reason Auburn can't win this game. Well, there's plenty of reasons why they can't win the game, meaning if they don't play well enough and things like that. I don't necessarily agree with that line of thinking, but I get the sentiment that you're saying that Auburn has the ability, Auburn has the talent that it needs to win the game. We're probably just arguing semantics at this particular point. Brent says, don't let the mic keep falling like it did for... Oh, I'm not exactly remember what you're referencing here, Brent, but I'm sure it's a good one if I could picture exactly what you're saying there. I don't know what's going on with my microphone tonight. It just said I'm not going to let you set it up the exact way that you want tonight. Maybe that means it's a sign things are changing a little bit. Stan thinks that the Auburn defense is why OU wins. A little bit of agreement from WT here as well. Yeah, we'll get into more of that tomorrow evening in previews and predictions. Look at some of the numbers and see how they match up with things. I would say it's not even about the defense in terms of scheme or the perceptions of it. I think Auburn's got some injuries that they've got to deal with and some key contributors that are, if you saw the SEC injury report today, that is going to be a little bit intriguing to watch. This is Brent also. He says, before the season, I felt like Auburn has to win one of the next 3 games to have a chance to be a successful season. I think you could still have a successful season even if you don't win the next 3, but you got to probably win out the for the next 5 at that point. No, it was 1, 2, 3, 7, no, for the doing math on the stream. This is tough. Oh my gosh. Either way, that would only be 3 losses. You could still get to 9 wins. You could still get to 8 wins. You could still get to 7 wins. I know people probably don't consider a 7-win season, exactly that, but it is still would be an improvement in some way. What do we got going on here? Who is Brody? Sam? I don't know who you're saying Brody or somebody saying they're going to call in or something like that. The phone line's open for anybody that wants it. It's pinned up at the top if you want to utilize that. Give me a great opportunity, guys. We'll go ahead and mention them right off at the top here at 10 minutes. BarnerSupply.com. They are the supporters of Auburn Family Night during football season. We are so proud to be partnering with them this football season, and it couldn't be more excited to talk about them and their products. I'm wearing another one of those tonight. You saw me wearing this one last week with the classic barn look. They got hats, they got shirts, they got koozies, they got other apparel, they got stickers, they got little Velcro things. So there's a little koozie with the Rising Barn one. What else we got here? Some sticker things if you want. All kinds of apparel, merch, and gears. BarnerSupply.com. Don't let the Bama fans take the barning culture thing from us. Barn out, barn hard. BarnerSupply.com. Is your roommate in here, Sam? Because I don't see him anywhere. But seems like y'all are itching to call in, so maybe you should this evening. Let's see here. This is Corey. He says, people think we're going to get waxed just because Venables coach Jackson Arnold. I'm sure Jackson Arnold has a couple of new tricks up his sleeve from the new coaching staff. I'm going to take what you said, Corey, here and apply it a little bit more across the board here and actually kind of push back on this narrative holistically. I don't buy into this as much as people think that just because a player, coach, whatever, was at a team previously that somehow that's magically going to pay dividends off for the team that they're currently with or against the team that they're currently with. I think your point is correct. It could just as much benefit Auburn as it could benefit Oklahoma. But I also don't think it's that big a deal. I think coaches prepare for this. They are ready to kind of make those changes that they need. And Coach Freeze even kind of said it today in the SEC teleconference. The offense is different. The defense is not. It's a Brent Venables defense. There's a lot of tape on that. I mean, sure, there's nuances every single year, but I don't really buy into this that there's some kind of big advantage that's going to happen outside of cheating in relation to Jackson Arnold for Oklahoma's benefit or vice versa, things like that. It's just not something that I subscribe to. Brody, there we go. Brody. We didn't see him in the chat. That's why I was like, who's Brody? Brody, have I met you before? You have to forgive me because I just don't remember every single person on every single app. Let's see here. Sam says, how do we feel about the basketball uniform reveal? Yeah, a lot of people are talking about that this week. I think it was a nice little taste of something else in what is otherwise a very football focused driven time right now. To me, didn't really see a whole lot that made me go like, wow, but as you know, you've probably heard me say this on a variety of different formats. I'm just not that big of an apparel guy. Very rarely is something just going to make me pop and go, wow, because I'm more of a traditionalist too, especially in terms of the football uniform. But I know basketball, that's got a little bit more nuance and variance to it. Look good, look clean, it looked neat, look like a Auburn basketball uniform. That's about kind of where I go on it, but that doesn't mean that you maybe have picked up on something that you like, Sam, and are certainly welcome to share it a little bit there if you want to. All right, we've got a caller in the queue, so we'll get to them in just a second here. Let's see here. WT says, wouldn't OU have to change all their signals since Arnold knows them? That cancels out Venables having an advantage. And, Auburn is, the notion that somehow there's going to be this miraculous advantage one way or the other. I don't subscribe to that. I think it's just another thing that we talk about in the middle of the week that makes it sound good on paper, but just is not based in any hardcore reality or truth. Just me though. Don't let the Clint uniform boy hear you say you don't care about uniforms. They'll hurt your feelings. Let me clarify. I care about Auburn's uniforms. I just don't really get excited about the changes or anything like that. It is just, I'm a traditionalist guy. That's about all I need right there. Brody thinks that Clemson has really gone downhill since Venables left. To some degree, I wouldn't say it's gone bad downhill, but certainly you saw the value that he had there as a defensive coordinator. All right, let's get into our first caller this evening. We always got to start off with Captain Optimism himself, Mr. Kevin. What's going on?
Boy, go.
How are you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing well. What about yourself?
I'm thinking about we will beat Oklahoma by 3 touchdowns.
Well, I hope you're right, buddy. I love the optimism, but I don't know if we can pull that off. If we do, boy, everybody is just going to be talking
Uh,
about them Auburn Tigers.
Oklahoma will play without their main player.
Which one are you talking about? Their main player,
Defense.
you're talking. Well, their main player is Mateer, the quarterback. So that is who is going to make
Our
probably.
defense.
What's that?
Our defense will sack him.
They might. They absolutely might. And they have done a great job of doing that to some other quarterbacks. I'm not so sure that it's going to be as easy as it's been previously. But when you got Keldrick Falk and Kieran Crawford running after you, anything's possible.
How about DeMarcus Riddick?
DeMarcus Riddick as well. All the guys on the offense and the defense. But I love your optimism, and I wish I could get there to the 3 touchdown victory that you're at. But at the same point, I'm not quite ready to say that one yet.
Yeah, I just got Kevin.
What else is on your mind tonight, buddy?
How about Cam Coleman will catch touchdown passes right and left on Saturday?
Right. So you're calling for one on the right side of the hash mark and one on the left side. That's your big prediction?
Yeah.
I love it, man. Hey, I'll take it. If Cam Coleman gets one on right and left, we're going to come right back here on Auburn Family Night and go, look who called it right there. I love that. What'd you think about that touchdown catch this week that Cam had?
I loved it.
We got to see it. I was standing in the walkway, of the stadium, or the big spiral, get up into the upper deck situation. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The ramp.
Yeah.
I could use words, Kyle. Come on. But I was actually right there in that corner. And that's, if you've seen the video we put out of it, I just happened to flip my camera on at the right time. And I was like, I feel like something's about to happen here. And I was right. We captured that moment of him doing the, creating some space and catching the ball. Now, you're going to see a lot of people, if you go to the comments of those videos, saying that it was offensive pass interference. They're also ignoring the defensive pass interference that happened right before that as well. It's hand checking. It's the same stuff that always happens. Does it go beyond the bounds of too much? Both were doing it.
Will DeMauro Austin be back?
So he is listed as, I think it was listed as probable, which means that he is going to play most likely, unless something just really happens negatively with his recovery. But also looks like he's good to go for the most part.
How long will the other dude miss?
Which one? There's a bunch of people listed on that list.
Darren Robertson.
Oh, the other running back. Yeah, he's out for a while. We don't know the time. He actually had to have kind of like they call it a procedure. I'm guessing that means they had to cut into his leg a little bit. He had some blood collecting.
Oh my!
It was a big deal. Like Coach said, it was kind of scary. Happened after the game, they realized what was happening and had to rush him to Birmingham. So he's out for a little bit because he's just got to recover, and I'm sure he's got some stitches or something like that. He's got to wait for all that to heal up.
How about Champ Anthony? Will he be back?
Champ Anthony, the word on him is that he is available to play. Looks like he'll be good. I forget what he was listed as. I think it may have been probable as well. But remember, he is going to have a cast on. So just like when Jeremiah Cobb first came back, he had a little bit of a cast on.
Yeah.
They did the same thing. They broke their thumbs. And so they are having to kind of play with that, and that can present some challenges.
How's Jaquez Hunter doing playing?
I haven't looked, to be honest with you. The only Auburn highlight that I remember seeing this weekend was Darius Slayton catching a bomb and running with it. He didn't score.
Oh, Darius Slayton. I remember him.
Yeah, man, he has found himself the sweet spot of being that third guy in the Giants rotation, and he is just living his good life out of there. Jarquez, I don't know. I'm trying to think if I remember anybody. I think
how about Bo Nix?
Give me a second here. Bo, I think, had an okay day. I'm trying to remember. There was a defensive back that had something happen this weekend. But anyway, that's no, that'd be a defensive lineman. Anyway, maybe it'll hit me later in the show. But it was, you know, every week it feels like there's an Auburn guy making some play or a big highlight or something like that.
And I think we will beat Oklahoma and Texas A&M.
I hope you're right. I don't think we can do both. I mean, how about this? I think we can. I don't know that we will. I wouldn't predict that.
Hey,
But I love your optimism about it.
hey, Kyle.
Yes, sir.
It's our year to go all the way.
I hope you're right. I do. I really love the optimism, and I hope you are right. All right, I gotta get a score prediction from you before you go. What you got for this week?
Auburn 48, Oklahoma 21.
Okay. All right. You gave Oklahoma some points in there. Now, listen, if Auburn scores 48 points on Oklahoma's defense, we're going to win the game. I'm just going to say that right now. So I love that pick. Well, you heard it here first.
And
folks.
it might come down to Cam Coleman 85-yard touchdown, maybe.
Oh, man, he's just dropping predictions everywhere. I love it, buddy. I love it. I know you're excited for this game. We are too, and we want to hear from you next week when we get to talk about it. Okay?
War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Cowboy hat.
We saw it, and we love it, buddy. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. All right, that was Kevin. We love hearing from him every week pretty much. So you guys also need to be just as regular as Kevin. Come on in. Utilize that link. It's at the top of the YouTube channel. Don't be shy. I promise it's not that scary. You don't have to be on camera like Kevin was, although look, Kevin's doing it. So y'all can do it too. It's not that scary. He knows I don't bite. So utilize that link, top of the chat on YouTube. It should be at the very top of the chat on Facebook. You might have to scroll up to find it, but it's pinned up at the top on YouTube. Very easy to do. We'd love to hear from some of y'all this evening. So please take advantage of that tonight for you. It's always brought to you by our friends at Barner Supply. We've been talking all night about all their cool gear that they have, barnersupply.com. Make sure you use our link that we have posted on, like if you're watching on X, there's a link attached to the post you should see on there that you can go shop through there. If you shop through our link, obviously as an affiliate of theirs, they gets a little kickback for us, but also you're supporting a great Auburn company. I already showed you the classic barn hat. We'll show you now the hat with the rising barn on there, trucker style hat. You know, that's what I love. All of these, I think. So that's a trucker hat. Yeah, he knows. Every time Matt asks me, is like, what do you want to show on the show? I'm like, give me a trucker hat. I probably should ask him for some more variety because it shouldn't be just about me, but y'all know how much I love those style of things. So check that out, barnersupply.com. Links are in our descriptions, profile, everywhere. If you need a link, hit us up in DMs. All right, we'll wait and see if anybody else wants to call in this evening. Again, don't be shy. Take advantage of that. We'd love to hear from you and what you got to say this week. Brent wants to give us a shout out for Daniel Carlson. Was 3 for 3 with a 54-yarder. I knew I was missing some of them, right? Some good stuff always seems to happen on NFL weekends for Auburn guys. And I think that's just a testament that even during, a time where Auburn football as a program has not been at its most proud moments in terms of its on-the-field success, we still are able to accrue talent, build it up, and get it to the NFL. Now, Daniel Carlson certainly was part of some more successful times, but there's other people beyond that just got there that are very successful. So Daniel, I have no shock, is continuing to do some great things. And I want to take that point and make another point too. It's wild to think about that Auburn's about to sell out yet another football season, and it happened during these seasons that weren't so great for Auburn. They are one single game away from a complete season sellout, and that is the Missouri game, which is kind of interesting because it's right after the Georgia game and it hasn't sold out yet. It's the last one. Everything else, Mercer, obviously Alabama, Georgia, Kentucky is now sold out. Just one more remains before we can call it an official season sellout. So we need to get that one taken care of, get it done, get it over with, so that we can go ahead and have that official sellout celebration. What else we got going on in the chat tonight? Oklahoma's a Big 12 team at heart, no defense. They're 2 years now into the SEC, a year and a half, so maybe they're still a little bit more Big 12. Let's see. Barner liked the idea of a white silo on either side of the barn A to look like a U. You're saying he did like that one? You're saying for this right here with the U? we'll have to remind that. If you're saying he remind, because he was here for a show one time. If for that one, Sam putting the U on the either side like silos, that's not a bad idea. So we'll have to see if he's. But make sure you get the original. I'm serious, guys. If y'all haven't gotten some of these, any one of these hats, y'all are missing out right now. I love wearing these hats around here. Good quality hats. Barn out, barn hard. Is the way the kids say it these days. Unbeaten Lake, going back to the topic he brought up earlier, Sooner fans have been trash talking nonstop anywhere Auburn is mentioned. I'm surprised that they're not here. There's a lot of Auburn traffic on YouTube these days. Gone are the days where we were kind of one of the only shows in town. So you're always trying to have to fight for the different attention getters, and some of the bigger more conglomerate sites, they draw the bigger audiences, thus the algorithm pushes them over there and stuff. So I'm sure there are plenty of Oklahoma fans showing up at other people's stuff. And I've invited a bunch of them and said, hey, come on in. You got the open mic night, but they have not taken advantage of it so far this evening. I thought maybe about getting a person on for Oklahoma this week, but it just never materialized for me. It's not something that I traditionally seek out unless I already have an established connection. I do have one for Texas A&M, but we're still kind of sitting in this weird period over here where I'm still playing catch up on a bunch of stuff, and I got a couple other things in the hopper I'm trying to work on and get done, so we may not prioritize that. I think we'll prioritize it for Georgia and for Alabama. I'm pretty sure I'll at least be on one of their shows at the very least, and maybe we can get some clips out of that or something like that. But that's kind of I got asked that, I think it was by UWT or somebody last week, about getting other people on here. I know y'all do enjoy those perspectives, and I don't ignore that. It's just kind of what's going on right now. All right, what do y'all want to talk about? A little bit quiet, a little bit slow chat this evening. What do we got? What do we want to discuss? This is y'all's show, so take us where you want to take us. Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family stuff. It is all fair game this evening. Someone brought up the basketball jerseys earlier. Obviously, it was just a small taste of basketball season. It'll be here before you know it, and it feels like it's going to start even sooner this season with them having all of those exhibition matches in October, which are going to be higher profile ones. So definitely keep that in mind as well. WT says the simulation game was pretty good. That goal line interception by OU was terrible. So it's always funny, WT, because I know some of y'all may not believe it, but when I run the simulation, I am not playing with it. It is simply me watching what's happening on the computer. There's a way to set that up, and it kind of feels like almost like a real game to me. I find myself cheering on the team. And when they were marching down the field, I thought, hey, man, this is going to turn out to be a good one. And then it ended up turning out to be a good simulation by the end of it. So go check it out if you haven't. And let me know what you think on that. I usually put out like a highlight reel the day before the game or something like that. But go check out the full thing. It's only 19 minutes this week. I ran the simulation a little bit longer this week to give chance for more scoring and stats, and it worked. So I think y'all will really enjoy it. It has a pretty exciting finish, I think, if you watch the whole thing thus far. This is from Corey. He says, Kyle, what size is Freeze looking for Alex to kick longer field goals? I heard him referring to that, wanting to just limit him to short field goals. What size? I don't know what size but I think it's more about what he feels his strength is, not a size or anything like that. You know, he's been having trouble with his diet, keeping food down. I shouldn't say down because I don't know that for a fact, but getting what he needs nutritionally because of the condition that he has, which has never been publicly acknowledged exactly what it is, but it's something gastrointestinal in nature. Let me check something out, by the way. I feel like I'm knocking around the camera or something like that. But anyway, they're just slowly working him back to what they feel comfortable him kicking. That's what was discussed today, if that's what you're referring to. All right, we got another caller in the hopper, so let's go ahead and get him ready. There he is. What's going on, Sam?
What's up, Kyle?
What is up, man? Did you see the guy today in TikTok asking about the aviation program again?
Oh, I did. Oh my. Oh, was it like nonchalant or something like that?
I think it was nonchalant. Yeah, that guy was asking about it. So every time, really, that's what I do now. I get asked about the aviation program. I say, Sam, where are you?
Yeah, I was just kind of lurking today. I didn't really say much, but yeah, he did DM me later. After
All right,
I tagged him.
what's up with you and Eddie's Calzones? I'll give him some free advertising here. What's up with the Eddie's Calzone obsession?
Nothing in specific. It was just like last night I was at the library at like 3 a.m. and I was gonna be there another hour because I wasn't finished, and I was looking on maps and I was just seeing what was open. I was like, there's no way Eddie's Calzone was like literally the only thing open. Like Guthrie's was closed, Cookout was closed. So
Cookout was closed?
Yeah, Guthrie's closes at 3.
No, Cookout. I thought Cookout was like 24 hours.
They used to be, but they changed it. I don't know, but yeah. So I went to Eddie's and it was buy one get one free, and it was actually super good. So it was only like $8. So.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I have thought about trying Eddie's a lot, but as I told you today on the stream, I have such a difficult time saying no to some of my favorites downtown. And
places.
Listen, Little Italy, come on. I mean, like,
right.
That's my place, man. And I know some of people don't like it, but I love Little Italy. So.
Yeah, sometimes it's not great when it's super busy, and sometimes it hits like you're craving it. So.
Yeah, if you go to Little Italy like on a non-game day, like lunchtime, you can get and it's not a busy lunchtime. You can have a really good time there. But anyway, what's on your mind?
Game days are like after a formal. Little Italy is just like, no offense, but it's not the place to be.
Well, they're trying to mass produce at that point,
Yeah,
so,
right. They're just throwing stuff in there.
What's on your mind this evening, sir?
What was on my mind? I had something, but I called in and I kind of forgot it.
You brought up the basketball uniforms. Was there something in particular that you found like
it was something with football, something with Oklahoma, but I did like the basketball uniforms. I just kind of saw Tahad and like not Dylan. Sorry, who's the other one? Oh, Drake. Drake makes some like TikToks and stuff on it. So yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I'm kind of excited for basketball season.
Yeah, I am too. I think I'm gonna try, depending on how it works out with schedules and stuff, to make at least one of those exhibition games at different places. Because you got like the one in one in Atlanta, one in Birmingham, I think one in Auburn or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
There's one in Birmingham?
I mean, let me reference that before I have not memorized it completely yet. It is, a long basket. It's not like a football schedule that's easy to memorize, but let's see if we can look it up real quick and give you the rundown.
I know there's definitely one in Atlanta.
I was sure of that one. So here's what we got: Auburn, Oklahoma State, Birmingham, and the Boutwell Auditorium. That is October 15th, and then you've got Memphis in Atlanta. That'll be a rematch of the not tip off at Tumors, but the holiday hoops giving matchup from a couple of years ago, and obviously earlier in the season last year. And then that's the two exhibition games. So you got, they're both pretty decent matchups in two big cities. We lost Sam there. What happened there? I had my computer screen even away, and I couldn't see that Sam got booted from the chat. I hope we didn't boot him actually. There he is. Let's see if we can get him bargaining. What's going on? You running away?
No, someone just called me. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. But I hope you heard that. Just two matchups in Atlanta and Birmingham.
Atlanta and Birmingham, yeah. I went to Neville the other day. What was I watching? Oh, it was a volleyball game, and they were giving out free Chick-fil-A and free T-shirts. So that was cool.
Like just cause, or
just like I guess get people in there.
Oh,
I think it was for what was it? Was it Florida State we just played?
Oh, for volleyball. Yeah. We played Florida State in volleyball at home, and then like 2 days later on Sunday we played them at their place, and they won then, so we split the series.
Yeah, I remember we won straight sets here, and they brought me out during there's this changeover between the first and the second set. And they brought me out there to they put a gun on my serve to see how fast it was, which is actually pretty cool.
How fast was it?
I think it was 54 miles an hour, which I thought was pretty good.
So traditional volleyball serve. That was you.
Yeah,
50?
like you throw it up and smack it. Yeah.
Did they say how that compares to a collegiate volleyball player?
So I looked it up, and it said the average women's serve is around 60. So I thought it was pretty good. I thought 54 was a solid number.
Listen, man, that's not bad because some of them ladies, they can serves they'll send are just like rockets. So that's pretty
Right.
good.
I don't know who number 2 is, but she is nuts. Yeah, she can serve fast. And then what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so the game was like you had to like they asked me before, they didn't tell me. They were like, how fast do you think you could serve? And I was like, probably like 40, 45 miles an hour. I was just like, I was way
Guessing.
hyping myself up. Like I didn't really think that. And then they brought me out and they were like, he said he could serve 45 miles an hour. If he can beat that, we'll give him like all this stuff. And I was like, oh shoot. So
Nice.
I just hit it really hard. Yeah, it was cool.
Very nice. Well, probably not going for accuracy there, just going for strength and for speed and all that.
It's kind of sailed, but that didn't have to land in.
So where was the like speedometer or whatever it is? Like, was it on the net?
No, so this lady had like a gun behind me. I like
a speed thing.
Like, yeah, like whatever the cops use. They like had it like behind me. And she just like I don't know. She like looked at it and she was like, that must have malfunctioned because there's no way it went that fast. But like,
sounds like a lot. I don't know if they still do it, but when I was in school, the women's basketball team, I think they were paid actually like a small stipend. They had a group of guys that comprised their scout team, and they would play against them.
Oh, yeah.
And I like I said, I don't know if they do that. My roommate was one of them actually.
Really?
And so yeah, I would have done it as well. I just didn't have I was working full time
to
be in school.
Basketball?
Yeah, in basketball. So what I was going to say was maybe you should consider now being like the person that scout teams serve or something like that.
Oh yeah, for volleyball.
Yeah.
I mean that would be a lot of fun. I know they do still do the women's volleyball because I saw like a QR code. I don't know where I was, but like a place to try out for it. But yeah, I don't know if they get paid, but I know they like get like a bunch of merch and a bunch of like
yeah.
And I remember I have a friend who does it, and he showed me like his highlight. He's like, they video it, so he's got like highlights of like him on like the girls team, which I thought was pretty cool.
All right, you haven't told me anything about Auburn, Oklahoma. What's on your mind?
Auburn, Oklahoma. I'm actually kind of nervous after how we played against South Alabama. I didn't think we did that great, especially defensively. Well, some parts defensively. I was kind of like, I was just in the stands and I was like, we should be killing this team. I don't know. I was just disappointed.
I think I called it. It's fair to characterize it as underwhelming.
Yeah.
But once again, as I always talk about having context around some of the feelings that we're having about it. But I think it was underwhelming, and I think Coach kind of said some of those same things too. But it's one of those things that we'll know the full picture of it later down the line. Was that a sign of things to come, or is that just a blip on the radar of like, hey? Right. Here's what I am encouraged, and I said this on the post-game show. We got up on them very quickly, and that's what you're supposed to do against those teams. Now, I don't want us to just, meddle around and let them back in the game, which there was a little bit of a moment there where everybody was kind of like, are we heading that direction?
Right. But, like, I forgot when it was. So I was like, dude, they still are in this game. It's the second half. What are we doing?
Yeah. But so I think it's two things, right? Like, Auburn was clearly the better team and was able to show that early. But also, South Alabama was not a terrible team. Like, out of the group of 5 teams that you schedule for homecoming, probably picked one of the worst ones that you could this year. And that's, you never know, right? You just pick who you pick, and it is what it is. At least we are not afraid to play the in-state schools. I'm just saying. I don't know why there's another
team up north that doesn't play the in-state schools.
Yeah. It just seems Micah's in the chat. Michael, what's the deal with that? Y'all scared? If you're scared, stay scared. Now we haven't played UAB or anything like that. So at least in football.
Yeah, you did say in the pregame. Oh, sorry. Like in the pregame, you did say that South Alabama was a solid school like before it, and that like don't get your expectations too high. I remember saying something like that. And
to be fair, I was a little bit unaware to start the week, but then as I just kind of started reading up on things, everybody wanted to just throw out that look what they did against Tulane. And I'm like, yeah, but anybody can have just a great game. But then you just start looking at them and you go, okay. I'll be honest with you. When I started running the simulation for that week, I didn't run the simulation. I just started playing against them a little bit on College Football 26, and they kept throwing on me. And I'm like, what is going on here? Now it's just a computer, but obviously they try to base their stats and stuff based off of things. And I'm like, okay, it's got a little bit of a passing game over here. Obviously our simulation didn't reflect that.
Yeah.
But it was, it still was pretty good for them.
Yeah, I'm just worried about because there were some drives where South Alabama was getting like 5 yards of play, and we couldn't do anything to stop them until they got into the red zone, and they didn't have that deep threat anymore. But like, I was just kind of worried like how it's going to translate against Oklahoma with like, I mean, I've seen in one Oklahoma game with John, and I feel like he's like, I mean, I think he's a little bit overhyped, but like he's still a solid quarterback. So I'm just like, it's gonna be our first like, I mean, Baylor was good, but they weren't like, they're not Oklahoma, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just kind of worried about our defense. I feel like our offense is gonna do fine, especially with how good our run game is. So I was been surprised with our run game, honestly. So yeah, I think we should be fine offensively. It's just the defense I'm worried about.
I think if you can get that run game going, you'll find yourself in a manageable situation, even on the road up there in Boomer Sooner land. Let me get one hot take for the game from you. What's your one hot take that you like for Auburn versus Oklahoma?
Should I bring out the 1-point safety? No,
yeah, explain that to me. Come on, like what is that?
Oh, I forgot about that. Well, I just saw something earlier that like a 1-point safety has never happened in college, so I was like, this is the game. It's gonna happen. So that's basically where like they would have to score on us, and we would have to like they would have to fumble all the way back to their own end zone, and then we
the extra point.
Them in their own, it would have to be a miracle, honestly. So that's my hot take. Well, actually, I need a better hot take than that. Let me think of one.
It's got to be something like that is more plausible than that.
Yeah, that's probably not gonna happen. I think my hot take. I think we're gonna defensively. I think we're gonna do a lot. Like we're gonna get to Mateer because I don't think he's played a defensive line as good as ours. I think he's gonna throw some picks just because of pressure. I think we're gonna get 2 interceptions. That's gonna be my hot take.
You might want to go watch the simulation if you haven't watched it yet.
I've not watched the simulation.
You might want to go watch the simulation. I didn't say you got to pick. I just said you might want to go watch the simulation.
Okay.
I'm just saying. All right, man, it's always good to hear from you and see you. So appreciate you calling in this evening.
All right, thank you. Next time I'll try and get Brody on here. He was being all shy. He didn't want to be on camera.
Hey, listen, I don't know what it is. Like, and look, you don't have to be on camera like you guys. You can just be off camera too. But anyway, thank you for calling in this evening.
All right, see you, Kyle. Bye.
All right, see you, man. Bye. All right, that was good. Good call this evening. We've already heard from Kevin. We've heard from Sam. What are you guys doing? Y'all got to call in too. It's Auburn Family Night. We got to hear from you. Want to hear your hot takes, your cold takes, your takes, whatever it is. Doesn't have to be sports, doesn't have to be current events, but it does need to be Auburn related. All right, we've been talking about them all even. Auburn Supply, BarnerSupply.com. Visit them through our links that we've got for you in our post on Twitter. Should be there on Facebook. It is in the description here on YouTube. Once again, we're an affiliate of theirs. You shop with them. It helps us out, helps them out through our link. We'd really appreciate you doing that. They have all kinds of good things that you can buy for them. Apparel that I'm wearing right now with this logo. They've got the classic barn logo, the rising barn logo. I'm trying to grab some of the other things. They got cool stickers like this, Barn Hard, and plenty of other things. Matt is like always just experimenting and trying out new things. And he is always in the workshop, I feel like, coming out with new merch, new apparels for BarnerSupply.com. Make sure the Bama fans know that we are proud to barn hard. All right. What else we got going on here this evening? Let's get into the chat and see what you guys are saying. Don't be shy. Sam's stealing the Uber fares. Yeah, he can have my Uber fares if I don't have to go through that situation again. I saw this WT. He said, at least Sam's vehicle doesn't look like the blacked out van of the free candy spray painted on the side. Listen, it takes a lot to put on a show and it not look like super weird. Because if you're just sitting there with a light in front of you, people just stop and like stare in, just like the Uber guy. You know, I've run into that situation before, so I'm trying to avoid that again. It is what it is, though. We do what we can. Yes, WT has called in before. When are you going to call in again, WT? Got to hear from you again, my man. Got to do it. Yeah, no apologies necessary. We're all good. Calls are we always appreciate it. We're not going to judge you too hard for your calls this evening or most Auburn Family Nights. All right, what else do we need to hit this evening? Is there any other topic, any other sports, whether it's culture stuff, whether it's family stuff that y'all want to spend some time discussing this evening? Most anything is fair game here. I'm trying to think of some of the news stuff that's been cycling through this week. I was struggling a little bit to understand if Auburn baseball had finalized their fall schedule. Let's see if we can confirm that right now, actually, because I'm already got the website pulled up for Auburn Athletics. But it said like finalizing and announced a game with Kennesaw State, which is not too distant for me. Yeah, they have not listed a fall schedule yet, which I think they typically do. I could be wrong. So maybe it is just the next one in their finalization process, but hopefully y'all are excited about that. I hope most of y'all are excited about the Savannah Bananas ball that's coming out. Yeah, Neil needs to call in. But remember, when you don't call in, we miss you. So yeah, I don't know that we're going to get Neil to. I don't know if he's still in the chat this evening. He's been kind of quiet for the last few minutes, but we got to have Neil call in sometime. I've been bugging him for years, and I haven't broken him yet. I'm going to keep trying to do my best to break him in. Sorry, I'm playing with all the Barner supply stuff. They even got this really cool Velcro patch that you can put on things too, and like put on, like I don't know. So I realized when I did an unboxing video for it, I haven't released yet, and that this was inside the cap, like attached to the inside of it. And so I found, well, that's unfortunate. There was one more thing I could have revealed on the thing then. Even the clown Corey called it. The self-deprecating humor. Yeah, we got to get y'all used to just calling in, even just to say hey and ask one question every week. Honestly, that is my goal. Is I would love to get you guys convinced and used to just one time, hey, here's my comment. I'll hang up and listen. Y'all can be like, I'll hang up and listen, Paul. That just what it does is helps other people know not to be scared and stuff. Just like Sam's friend Brody. I mean, I get it. It's intimidating. I've avoided calling into other radio shows that I watch before too, because it's just like, I sound weird, all that kind of stuff. It's usually not as bad as it sounds. Now, some of y'all do sound weird. I'm kidding. But listen, it is always good to hear you guys when you're able to call in and talk about what's on your mind, especially on Auburn Family Night. All right, let's. What else? Anything else that we need to discuss from y'all's minds this evening? Talked a little bit about baseball, a little basketball this evening. Of course, the football game. I know y'all are itching for the preview and prediction show tomorrow, where we'll dive deep into all those different aspects of it all. Yes, we did talk a little bit about, at least to start off, the people that were fired at Auburn for obviously being very insensitive and just horrible people. So that's already been kind of discussed a little bit. They've announced the first of those concerts they're going to be doing for the concert series at Neville Arena. So it'll be interesting to see what else they're going to come out with in that regard over the next couple of weeks and months. I would imagine we get more and more of it as we get beyond football season, especially for, I guess you can still have pretty good concerts out in the cold, right? I'm not much of a concert goer, but I probably, here's what I will say. If they can get Zach Brown Band to come to Neville Arena, not only I will be there, but my wife Jessica will be there. That's the band that we kind of fell in love with because it has our song. It's the first time that we both realized we like each other. We were at a Zach Brown concert, all that kind of stuff while we were both at Auburn. So that would just be kind of the perfect thing for us to go and do in a place that we love very much. WT asks, has the Yellowwood logo bothered anyone at all? It was such a nice topic of consternation before the season. I didn't even notice it. I forgot about it as well. And which is good because when you looked at the images of it being freshly painted on, it just boldly, and I mean boldly, stuck out. And because we're all focused on it, right, too? But I remember last game, I went, oh, yeah, it's over there. And I forgot about it. Or if they did a statement about it, partnership with Pat Dyefield, partnership with Yellowwood, of course, then you look at it. But I think we have to remember this. The majority of people that watch college football at least indulge a little bit to some degree with the NFL product, and those are all over the field too, or they've seen other places where we're just used to it now. So I think it's just another one of those things that we all get grumpy about, and nobody likes it, right? We all recognize that we would prefer there not be any advertisements in any way associated with our college programs, but unfortunately, it's part of the thing. I have to have ads on our stuff. Y'all know this, to be able to make a living, to be able to continue to do this stuff for you guys, to have sponsors on as well. So it's something that we all recognize is not a perfect thing that we want, but it is something that's necessary. And the great thing that we try to do here outside of like general ads that are just run on YouTube and stuff is partner with brands like Barner Supply that you guys can have a connection with, because we really try to find something that'll speak to you. So do support them when you can. You said, excuse me. I like that it says Pat Dye Field on it. And I think as much as people like to whine and complain and gripe about the powers that be, Jimmy Rain, Yellowwood, none of them have taken the time to watch, to listen to the release of the announcement of that. And the video they put out, I thought was just outstandingly done, of him explaining why he wanted it put the way he did, how he wanted Yellowwood to be as small as possible. And I think it was 2 episodes ago on Andy Burcham's podcast where he had the external affairs, essentially the fan experience team on. And I think it was them that explained that Jimmy Rain wanted it to be even smaller, but the problem became is the smaller they got the logo on the field, you wouldn't be able to make out Yellowwood anymore. And of course, he's paying the money, so you got to have that. So it was more of those, it would have been even smaller and more about Pat Dye had it been able to with that type of stuff. So it was done pretty well, I think. Unbeaten Lake says, hopefully they don't start putting ads on jerseys. If they do, you can blame LSU. You know it's coming, Unbeaten Lake. Just be prepared for it. It is coming. There's no getting away from it. Everything's an advertisement. They got to pay all this. Excuse me. Wow, that one hit me out of nowhere. Maybe I'm just bored. I'm just kidding. Yeah. The LSU, whatever, it's coming. We all know it is. What is the Musco Entertainment upgrades they are doing? Well, that's already been displayed once. If you haven't watched on YouTube our fourth quarter show, it's all of that new laser and pyrotechnic stuff that's kind of all merged together with obviously music and stuff. I think it's just the latest, the state of the art things and I think it's the first time that a college football stadium has utilized this system. I would imagine everybody is now doing it or was doing it right after Auburn. But if you've not watched that fourth quarter show, I didn't capture everything on there because I was sitting a little bit lower and I didn't want to go widescreen on it when I was capturing it because it would have distorted things a little bit. But it's really, really good. I was a little skeptical how much I was going to like it. Really loved it. I really did. Yeah, you're welcome for that fourth quarter show. This is at the heart of why I do what I do and the way we try to do it. We are not going to pretend to be the world's greatest Auburn football and basketball commentators. I hope that you get knowledgeable information out of that. You find it entertaining as well. We're about the Auburn experience. We want to bring the experience to you when we're able to go to campus or maybe one day to more on the road events. We've done some before in very limited capacities. But we're about bringing the experience to you, letting you have more of a voice. And the best way you can do that is by calling in and taking part in those things. But yes, obviously hearing you guys and seeing you in the chat is part of that as well. This is back to kind of ads and stuff. Ads don't bother me at all. I have followed EPL for a long time and their ads are bigger. EPL. Why am I not placing what that is? European Premier League. Is that what that is? Did I get it? Yeah, they got tons of ads. That's what you were talking about. Ads will be on the basketball court for sure. I think we all recognize that we'd like to see that court probably named after Bruce Pearl. I think he's earned it. That's a long time coming, or at least a few years coming. So we'll just put that to the side for a little bit. But it would be nice to see that be, Bruce Pearl Court at Neville Arena or whatever the sponsor is in the future. Because while I think the Nevilles are going to be the sponsor for that for a long time, it doesn't mean that it'll last forever. All right. We're sitting at about 55 minutes, roughly. What else do we need to hit on? What else do we need to speak about? What do we need to expand on? Last few minutes here of the show of what we typically do. Put that in the chat right now. We want to touch on those things before we head out of here. What I want, and I'll keep the phone line technically open. I'm going to take the little banner off for right now, but please do utilize that if you want to. Look, tomorrow night's the night. Auburn, Oklahoma. It's going to be a good discussion. We're going to have the preview and prediction show. We want you to join us if you can. It's going to be a lot of fun, as it always is. For those of you that wanted that show to come back and y'all have showed up, we really appreciate that. Just keep in mind, we're really needing to see the numbers come back up on that a little bit to continue to want to put that out there for you. So make sure you drag your friends and family there. Help us make that one a good show for everybody. The preview and prediction show, because it's really an interactive show. And if we don't have a lot of people interacting in it, then it kind of loses its luster a little bit. So join us tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Post-game show, no problems with people showing up to that. And I'm sure it will have a lot to say, win or lose on this one. It'll be right after the game. Obviously, it's a away game, so I'm not out and about. So I will be ready to go as far as I know, unless there are unforeseen circumstances. So post-game, obviously, the Auburn Experience is going to be back Sunday with Austin, myself, 148, episode 148, 143, Kyle. So make sure you are there for that as well. Anything else that we need to touch on this evening that we haven't done? So Rodney, we're just about to end, sir, but it's good to see you. Thanks for getting here when you can. I know you've been busy, man. You're getting here when you can. Let's see here. Pearl has earned having his name on the building. Yeah, but the building has a name, and it's going to be one of those things that is utilized as a sponsorship or a family that wants to be the big donors for. See, Rodney gets a pass. This is what it's about, man. Staying in that church. Good job. Probably where I should be. But appreciate you stopping by for us to hang out with us for a little bit. But yeah, I think Bruce Pearl deserves some type of recognition in reference to that building someday. Yeah, I think it's on its way. Will they ever put an Apple logo on anything? We were talking about this, I think, with Clint about 2 weeks ago when we discussed the first 2 weeks of looking at the Auburn uniforms, because we saw home and away at that point. I think it was then. Anyway, a couple weeks ago. And I asked him, I said, I think maybe one of you asked, do we ever see Apple getting involved with some type of sponsorship? What we discussed, and I think what Clint said, is that historically Tim Cook has stayed away from direct association with the football or the sports programs, although he has come to games and, come into the locker room to cheer on the team or to give them a pep talk or whatever. And there's been other things, but there's not been a big supporting of that financially that we know of from him. But he has facilitated a lot of things academically, which I think is more his space anyway. And I'm very thankful for that. It's really cool that Auburn has its claws in all these different facets of society, in business, with there's somebody at Amazon that Auburn is attached to, Apple business, but also technology. You've got like the Wikipedia, we're all over the internet guy. We've got Octavia Spencer in acting, one of the most well-known actresses out there right now. All kinds of people. Jimmy Buffett was associated with Auburn. All kinds of people and places everywhere. We got Miss America right now. We just everywhere, man. What else? So the Nevilles having their name on the building is okay, but not the company having their name on it. Isn't both of them what they paid for an ad? So I don't think I guess you're just referring to the notion of that in general. People are just going to have their opinions. Everybody's just going to say, I hate this and this is why, but then they'll be inconsistent. Usually I find that people that are truly complaining about something on social media are the same ones that are being inconsistent about it in another area. It's just the nature of the beast. Unfortunately, people feel empowered to say something and say a little bit less. Just the nature of the beast. The arena name will be changed to Pearl Arena at some point. It won't be Neville Arena forever. Maybe 20, 30 years from now. Maybe. It might be Pearl Neville Arena, something like that. But I think they're going to utilize it for some type of sponsorship for the foreseeable future. All right, guys, we're getting out of here. Thanks so much for hanging out this evening. We appreciate you spending some time with us, being part of our little family within the Auburn family. Really quick question. What site did you tell me to go to for the Auburn green jersey? auburnuniforms.com. Just type in Auburn green jerseys. That probably will bring up his article if you want to get that. But just try that one and see if that'll help it out. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. For those of you that just got here, I'm sorry, but you'll have to watch the replay. We appreciate you being here, spending some time, being a part of our little family within the Auburn family. And as I've been trying to get accustomed to saying, I'm going to ask you to do these things. Live by the Auburn creed in this way, specifically with this line. I hope that you will do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. War Eagle.